6 o'clock news starts right now.
Tonight, a world-renowned geoscientist weighing in on plans for a controversial wastewater treatment plant that critics worry can contaminate the drinking water for 2.5 million people. Plus, now that Mayor Gina Ortiz-Jones has been in office for 100 days, we're asking you, how do you think she's doing?
First subtle change from yesterday's cool front. Lower humidity right now. What that means for the temperature drop this evening and how much cooler the mornings will be coming right up.
Now we'll start tonight with shattered glass and scared drivers. San Antonio police say that earlier today, a man was throwing rocks at moving cars over on Broadway. Police did detain a suspect. Our Avery Everett now joins us live near the Pearl. Avery, we do understand that there was some damage. The question is whether anybody was hurt.
No, thankfully, Steph, no one was injured. These were pieces of the rocks that drivers actually were hit with when this all happened just hours ago. I mean, literally chunks of concrete. In total, 5 to 6 vehicles were damaged, according to SAPD. I want you to take a look at this video that was captured earlier today. It shows some of the worst damage. Now, this all happened around noon. The call came in on North Alamo near I-37 downtown, but our crews saw the most damage on Broadway. The man detained did take off his clothes before police caught up to him. Drivers with damage that we spoke to were just in shock, but they were thankful for their lives.
I was watching out for us because the size of the concrete block he threw through my windshield, if this were not safety glass, it could have gone right through the windshield and could have injured someone.
Steph, you can actually still see some of those rocks just shattered, sitting in the middle of Broadway. Now, we still don't know the name of the man that was detained. A sergeant here on the scene hours ago, we asked him if we knew anything about why this all happened. He said he did not know if narcotics were involved or if that man was experiencing a mental health crisis. As soon as we learn more about this case, we'll keep you updated on KSAT.com.
And we're just relieved that nobody was hurt in that. All right, now we're going to bring you to this area here of Northwest San Antonio, a beautiful area which has been under a microscope. The issue is over plans to build a wastewater treatment facility right over the Helotes Creek watershed. Some researchers warn that that could contaminate the drinking water for you, me, and the 2.5 million other people who depend on it. One expert points to something that happened 25 years ago when 7 people died and thousands got sick after bacteria got into the water supply. And he spoke with our Sarah Acosta about this new potential project.
San Antonio gets its drinking water from the Edwards Aquifer. It's a karst or limestone system.
Limestone, like the rock that I'm standing on, but underground. And this rock is porous and extremely delicate. And it's what the Helotes Creek watershed is made up of, right here, in our aquifer system.
Lennar Corporation has proposed building a 3,000 home development over this area. That would require a wastewater treatment plant, which would dump treated sewage into our aquifer system. Researchers and neighbors have been fighting this for years. Dr. George Venny is one of the top experts on karst systems in the world. Karst is rock that's been dissolved by water, creating holes. He says any contaminant in this system can be deadly. He points to an incident in Canada where a farmer spread manure over the land and it rained a lot. That bacteria got into the limestone water system.
As a result, 7 people died and about 2,300 people became ill. In principle, in a certain sense, nobody did anything wrong. Except for one thing, they did not understand that this was a karst area.
Whether it's manure or the wastewater facility failing and a bit of E. coli getting into that water and into our karst system, why should we be concerned?
The situation that happened in Canada is just telling us how sensitive the aquifer is to pollution and what the repercussions could be if the aquifer is polluted.
Bill Pack lives right on Helotes Creek.
When I heard about that report, it was pretty shocking. I mean, I hadn't heard about people dying before.
He and his wife have been fighting this development for years.
If it gets contaminated, we're going to be threatened in probably several different ways. So it's not a good feeling at all.
Venny says whatever happens with the proposed wastewater treatment facility, he says safety of the community should be the priority.
I want to make sure that we understand how sensitive it is, and we need to have the proverbial seatbelt and airbag, both working together to protect our water supply.
Sarah Acosta, KSAT 12 News.
This is part of a larger conversation. Earlier this week, we ran a KSAT Explains on the proposed Guajolote Ranch development in Northwest Bexar County and why it's facing backlash. And in response to that story, Lennar, which is the corporation behind this project, sent us the statement that you see on your screen. It says in part, quote, Lennar is taking extraordinary steps to protect water quality in the aquifer contributing zone with a wastewater treatment plan that meets all the requirements in the water service agreement with SAWS, who will provide water to the community. Our facility will be among the most advanced of the area's dozen or so treatment plants already operating over the contributing zone. You could scan that QR code on your screen to read the full statement from Lennar and also watch the story. San Antonio Mayor Gina Ortiz-Jones just reached a milestone, 100 days in office. You can scan the QR code to tell us how you think she's doing so far. Our City Hall reporter Garrett Berger took that very question directly to the mayor, and this is part of their conversation.
Power struggles and tense moments with council members.
Point of order, your time is up. Councilman, please respect the body. Thank you.
Arguing with Spurs Jesus after crashing a press conference.
But that's not the question.
That was my question.
I understand that.
Losing her attempt to pump the brakes on a Spurs Arena deal and losing again when trying to block the plan that did move ahead. Whatever else you call it, Mayor Gina Ortiz-Jones has had a memorable start in City Hall.
Overall, do you think your first 100 days have been a success?
For me, success looks like, have I looked at the end of the day, can I look in the mirror and say, did you do everything you could possibly do for your community? And I know at the end of every single day, I can say, yes, I did.
In the campaign, Jones had a list of 14 priorities she'd tackle in her first 100 days. During our interview, the only one she mentioned definitively checking off was changing how the city handles non-disclosure agreements.
I think a good leader also recognizes when priorities shift and when needs change in the community that you adjust accordingly.
But more than her campaign priorities, a $1.3 billion Spurs Arena plan has loomed large. Council approved a funding deal over Jones' objection. But she continues to call for a new independent economic analysis, revenue sharing with the Spurs within the deal, and for voters to have final say on the city's share of the cost. She has not taken a public position yet on the November vote about the county portion.
If that gets voted down, are you worried you'll be the scapegoat for the current deal collapse?
No, I am not.
Council members have also sidestepped Jones 3 separate times to force a discussion or vote, mostly over her attempts to change how they can advance policy. Jones would not say what she's doing to improve those relationships.
When we're focused on the work, when we're focused on delivering for San Antonio, we will find that common ground.
Political consultants Kelton Morgan and Christian Archer, who have worked with the previous 4 mayors between them, called her performance disappointing or rocky at best.
We're 100 days in. She still has to find 5 votes to get things done that she wants to get done, and I haven't seen any evidence of that yet.
Calling these unforced errors, but is it maybe just a riskier and different strategy that she's approaching the job differently?
Well, she's losing. Okay. And she's losing on almost every major vote that has had the public's attention. If that's a strategy, it's a bad one.
But even when losing, Jones has had her supporters, especially when it comes to her Spurs Arena stance.
In all the time I've been doing this work, I've never had a mayor who stood up for us.
The mayor says she's proud of pushing conversations in ways she says they need to be pushed. But as for anything she wishes she could redo,
the second part of that question, then there wasn't been
no
she could redo.
No,
that wouldn't have gotten better off.
I appreciate your time. Thanks, Garrett.
Now, during our more than 20-minute interview, the mayor talked about her view on the scope of her authority and challenges that the city continues to face. You can hear it all in her words. You just need to check it out on our website, KSAT.com. And right now, we'll take a look at the poll that's been going. Right now, the vast majority of people saying that they do not think the mayor has been doing a good job. You can still vote using that QR code on your screen. Live in the newsroom, or live in the studio, rather, I'm Garrett Berger, KSAT 12. Stephanie?
All right, Garrett, thank you so much. Just letting you know that's a non-scientific poll. It's just something where we're just asking our audience members directly what they think, and we'll have more on those results tonight on the Night Beat. But in other news now, people at a local apartment complex say that they heard the gunshots, but it took some time to find a shooting victim. And ultimately, San Antonio police found the victim, the man, around 11:30 last night between 2 parked cars at an apartment complex near Pecan Valley Drive and East South Cross. They say that he died after being shot multiple multiple times. Officers at the scene told us that they had trouble finding the victim, who was in a dark corner of the parking lot. And one neighbor who didn't want to share his identity says that he walked past that man's body without realizing that he was dead.
Do you think now, oh man, I should have stopped or anything? Does that cross your mind?
Well, I mean, even if I would have stopped and would have shook him or anything, I mean, there's nothing I could do about it.
Investigators now looking for the shooter. And according to SAPD, this is one of almost 40 incidents that have been reported at that apartment complex so far this year. Now let's go outside to give you a live look at traffic. This is usually a common trouble spot at this time of day. That's Loop 410 at Blanco Road. And you can obviously see that traffic is flowing just not as smoothly as you'd like, a little bit jammed right now, but there are no accidents there to speak of right now. It's just normal rush hour traffic. Now let's look ahead. So I mentioned that I wanted us to look ahead, way ahead. Let's talk about Fiesta 2026. So mark your calendars because that begins on April 16th. But tonight, you're going to get to see the posters that have been nominated for that event. So now let's give you a live look at the San Antonio Garden Center. That there is where people will be gathering in 20 minutes to vote on the official poster. And they have 5 to choose from, each one made by one student from each of the 5 Alamo colleges. We're going to be streaming the unveiling and also give you more on this on the Night Beat. But here's the thing. We're not going to find out what the poster looks like or which one people choose until January. Stay right where you are. Still to come on the news at 6. Medical technology, we know this, is constantly evolving. After the break, you're going to see how the healthcare leaders of tomorrow got hands-on experience today. Now let's talk about hands-on experience. Health students from Brennan High School just experienced something pretty unique. They used a $5 million robotic system that surgeons over at Westover Hills Baptist Hospital use every day. Our Prashada Pope tells us how that experience could inspire a new generation of engineers and healthcare workers.
Heart was a little bit, it was beating fast because out of excitement mostly. It felt very exhilarating. I loved it.
Elia Lucas was the first Brennan student to take the controls of the Da Vinci 5.
As soon as I heard about the robotic system and how robots are more involved in healthcare, I've been wanting to learn more about it.
The Da Vinci 5 is the latest model of the multi-million-dollar system used daily at Westover Hills Baptist Hospital. Instead of surgeons' hands, specially designed instruments attached to these slender robotic arms enter the body through smaller incisions.
Small incisions and have a patient leave the hospital very quickly. It's amazing.
Colorectal surgeon Dr. Michael Keller says technology like the Da Vinci 5 will be the standard in training for new surgeons across the board, and says students interested in health care should be introduced to new technology sooner rather than later.
If you see it and you realize this is something exciting, this is something I can see doing for the rest of my life.
The student's teacher agrees.
This gives them exposure to come out, see what it actually looks like in real time, and see what the world's going to look like when they get out of school.
The hands-on experience with the Da Vinci robot is inspiring future surgeons, but it's also highlighting to students the other avenues in the medical field.
The truth is the surgeon is at the very end of the process. There are millions and millions of code that are written to work the robot. I can only imagine how many engineers it must take to have created or maintained the robotics itself.
All say the students' everyday interaction with technology like AI, combined with opportunities to see their applications up close in medicine and other fields, can help students find a path to success. Prashada Pope, KSAT 12 News.
One local woman is crediting her son, her husband, and her family for helping her push through the tough times. For DJ Galan, that was being diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer and finding out that she had brain tumors. DJ tells us that 10 days of radiation treatment stopped those brain tumors from growing. However, she is still battling lung cancer. And the one thing that's giving her hope, or one of the things that's giving her hope throughout this entire process, is the upcoming Head for the Cure 5K, the event that's happening this weekend right here in San Antonio.
Seems like you're also supporting others battling through this by just being there at the Head for the Cure.
Yes, I love the event. I love the camaraderie. I do have a couple of friends that also have brain tumors that have been participating with me as well.
Oh, DJ, that's awesome. She's done the Head for the Cure 4 other times, and her team is appropriately called We Can Do It. DJ, rooting for you here. Reminder, the 5K is happening this Saturday at 8 a.m. over at Providence Catholic School. You can head on over to ksatcommunity.com to get more details. So I'm looking right there at the temperature, 90 degrees out there right now, a live look through our live cam. The thing is, it doesn't feel as humid right now as it did days ago. Adam, tell us whether that's going to be the case for this weekend.
Yeah, you know, the nice thing is humidity has dropped big time. Dew points are down in the 50s, and this is going to be a trend here, I think, for several days, especially in the afternoons, but also a little bit in the mornings as well. It's not going to be as tropical in terms of the feel of the air. Notice the Deweys, mid-50s. Now, Beeville, Cotulla, Carrizo Springs, different story, but the vast majority of us feeling that drier air. And the drier air, it cools off more efficiently than the tropical muggy air. So 90 now at the airport, but by 8 o'clock, we're down to 82 degrees. And by 10 o'clock, we're at 77. And then tomorrow morning, that's the payoff. And I know this isn't exactly a fall weather map for morning sunrise temperatures, but it's better than what we've had for recent history. 67 tomorrow morning in town, which is exactly average for this time of year. So at least morning temperatures are reset back to average. And in the hill country, some nooks and crannies will dip down into the upper 50s. Comfort, for example, tomorrow likely at 59 degrees. And then going forward, mornings in the mid to upper 60s. And keep in mind, that's right near the average of 67. The new drought monitor is in. It's updated every Thursday. No real noticeable changes compared to last week. Some of the yellow east of town expanded into College Station and closer to Houston, but that's about it. And the yellow, of course, indicates the abnormally dry, whereas the brown color, that indicates an actual drought category, and 22% of Texas is considered in drought. And it's not looking good for most of the state going forward over the next 7 days. Parts of far west Texas and maybe even along the Gulf Coast, a few showers and a little bit of rainfall potential, but nothing significant. The east coast of the U.S. and even the Pacific Northwest, that's where the bulk of the moisture is going to be. But hey, you know, even in New Mexico, they could get some rain, and they need it too. New Mexico is in a drought. Here's a cool front that moved through yesterday. Again, no major changes in how it feels outside, but it's still kickstarting a few showers and storms, especially earlier today, offshore over the Gulf and down in the valley area as well. The bigger picture is off to the east in the Atlantic. That's where we have tropical storm Umberto. That's headed to the northwest at 6 miles per hour, headed toward Bermuda, but likely to pass between Bermuda and the east coast of the U.S. as a hurricane, likely to even become a Category 3 hurricane. A similar path to Gabrielle, its predecessor, just a little farther to the west. We also have another area we're watching, and that's this area of disturbed weather near Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic. That's headed to the northwest, and that actually has the potential to directly impact parts of the southeastern U.S. or even just the East Coast, anywhere from basically North Carolina all the way down to Georgia. That's the one folks in the East Coast will have to watch more closely. This is just one computer model, one of the global models that we tend to look at. So it's not exactly what's going to happen. It's just one opinion. But this one opinion would take that system, don't know the strength, but would take that system and some of its rain into the southeastern United States in the days ahead. So something to watch. We won't be able to tap into any remnant moisture or rain-making energy from it. 92 is our high today. The morning low of 74. Mornings will be back down in the 60s starting tomorrow. Hondo tomorrow at 63. New Braunfels 65, Fredericksburg 58, Del Rio 68, still low 70s, Cotulla, Tilden, Freer, Corpus Christi. That's where the humidity's holding, but vast majority of us will have some more comfortable mornings. But temperatures warm up quickly with this dry air. 87 at noon, 93 for the high temperature tomorrow, and a nice northeasterly breeze at 5 to 10. Tarpley tomorrow 89, Seguin 93, Devine 92. Afternoons running a little above average for this time of year, Steph.
All right, thank you for that. So there is a road runner that is getting the spotlight.
Yeah, Robert Henry Jr. leads the nation, the FBS, and rushing yards this season, and it's really cool when you think about it, right? I mean, he's averaging over 9 yards a carry. Coming up, we're going to hear from one of his O-linemen, and UT RGV football say they're going to find a lot about themselves this weekend because they're stepping it up in competition coming up. UTSA running back Robert Henry Jr. leads the FBS in rushing yards this season with 624. He's averaging 9.2 yards per carry and as long as 76 yards that he ripped off Saturday in the Roadrunners 17-16 win at Colorado State. In 4 games this season, he's rushed for 177 yards against Texas A&M, 159 versus Texas State, 144 yards against the Carter Word, and 144 against CSU. Ben Rios and the Roadrunners O-line, they are proud to lead the way for Henry.
Absolutely. I mean, the great thing of having such a great player like him is, we're human. We don't always do everything perfectly, and the great thing about having a great running back group is they make us right. And, we try our best to do our job, but it definitely feels good because, if he does good, we do good. It makes us feel better because, he couldn't do his job without us, and we couldn't score without him. And so it's kind of just like it's a great thing about this team sport. So.
Henry leads the Mizzou running back Ahmad Hardy by 24 yards. UTSA is on a bye this week. Missouri will host Massachusetts on Saturday. Number 24 in the FCS, Incarnate Word is getting ready to host 13th ranked Abilene Christian, and SI.com is putting the word on upset alert. The Wildcats are currently 2.5-point faves to win at UIW. ACU holds 2 ranked wins over Stephen F. Austin and Austin P. The Cardinals feel they're getting close to getting back on track and back in the win column.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to go into it confident every single week. Again, we have good players, we have good coaches, we have good scheme. It's proven in the success that we've had. And again, we're going through some trials and tribulations, and we got to lean into this thing because it's not supposed to be easy to get the script flipped, But once you get over that little hump, it can start rolling. So we got to go out there with confidence, and we got to execute our job and make plays.
Cats versus Cards will go down Saturday night at 6 at Gale and Tom Benson Stadium. UT RGV football finished non-conference play 4-0. Now they're getting ready to open up Southland Conference play this week at Southeastern Louisiana. Prairie View A&M is the only D1 opponent UT RGV has played this season, and they beat them 27-21, by far the Vaqueros' closest game. Now the competition will ramp up in conference play.
Yeah, like I said, it'll be a good gauge of where we're at, and gauge of, hey, where is our program, where is our team right now, the 2025 team and our program stack up with one of the best in the conference. And like we told them today, we may, if we don't win, okay, where are we? Where do we stack up? What do we need to get better at? How's that how's that going to benefit us the rest of the year? Or if we were to come away with a win, well then, hey, what does that tell us now? And so we talk about getting these two first games here in conference, finishing that first half of the season, and then we'll talk about halftime. But these two weeks can affect really what our goals are for the second half of the season. So again, just worried about one day at a time, 1 week at a time. But yeah, we're going to go give it everything we got Saturday.
UT RGV is one of 15 undefeated FCS teams. Week 5 and big game coverage kicks off tonight, and one of the games we're scheduled to get is Victoria East at the New Braunfels Unicorns in a District 13 5A D1 contest. New Braunfels is 4-0 this season, while the Titans are winless at 0-4. Coming up at 7 on KSAT Sports Now, we'll have tonight's complete BGC schedule, plus we'll have more on the Packers and the Cowboys.
Hold you to that.
Yes, please do.
Thank you. So, between football games and all the events going on this weekend, there's just no way that you're going to be bored. And we're going to preview some of the events that are happening in our beautiful city. Budo Picks is after the break. That music goes perfectly with this segment, I have to say, because I just want to dance and party. So, we don't need to wait until Friday to get the party started. That is why we have Budo Picks today on a Thursday, so that you know what's happening all over town this weekend. And who better than to give us advice on what's happening around town than our very own Stephanie Guerra, who is definitely in the know.
Thank you for that lovely introduction. And yes, There's so much going on. I have no clue what day of the week it is because we're hitting busy event season for San Antonio. The weather's cooling down a little bit. Everyone gets outside. I have major FOMO because I can't make it to all the events at one time, but it's going to be a really exciting weekend.
Well, let's start with one that's happening tomorrow. It starts tomorrow. It's the Desperado 30th anniversary screening. 30 years?
Yeah, don't tell me about it.
That movie?
So I'm really excited for this one because I'm a huge Robert Rodriguez fan. He's a native San Antonian, so it's really cool that his film studio is right up the road. It has been 30 years since the movie Desperado came out, and tomorrow night at the Aztec Theater, which is going to just make the experience even cooler, they're screening the movie, plus Robert Rodriguez and his band called Chingoan are playing, and Danny Trejo, who we all know, right, from the movies, is going to be there too, because they're besties, so why wouldn't he be there? And shout out to Patricia Vaughn, one of Robert Rodriguez's sisters, who's also a very talented musician. They're all talented. She's in the movie. She's a friend of mine. She's going to be there too. So don't miss that. I think tickets are going really fast, but it's going to be a fun night full of surprises, and we don't really get to see a lot of celebs at weekend events here. So
which is why you just name dropped.
Yes.
That you're friends with his sister. Got it.
I'm just saying. Just saying.
I know people. All right. So this is also Friday, tomorrow and Saturday. It's the 42nd annual Jazz Alive?
Yes. And no shortage of talk about this event, right? It's been going on for a really long time, but I love to talk about it every year because it's outdoors. It brings the whole city together. It brings people who don't normally come downtown into downtown. So if you're watching and this is your first time coming downtown, make it a habit. But you get to see all kinds of jazz. So I'm really excited for Pedrito Martinez. We have the St. Mary's University group, Jazz Combo, Melodious Funk, the Lighthouse, which is here in San Antonio, all-star jazz and like R&B soul DJs. It's a really eclectic mix. It's free, it's fun. They have the beautiful turf out there. And you're just like under the stars in downtown San Antonio by the tower watching this huge jazz concert. I love this event. And it's both nights. So if you can't make it one day or the other, just go down there. Don't miss it this year.
You know, what's good about that is that sometimes jazz is kind of perceived as like, you know, like
sleepy?
No,
Boring?
not sleepy, but expensive because a lot of the,
100%.
you know what I mean, like super highbrow. So this is something that's accessible
all
to
the
everybody.
things, all the things, and it's all varieties of jazz. So it will be high energy. There will be some chilling, but it will be fun overall.
Mujer Artes anniversary.
Yes,
What's
so
that?
we love Mujer Artes. Their studio is actually located right near the west side of downtown on the west side. So they're a collective that is also celebrating their 30th anniversary. This is a group of women who are majority of them are activists, people that are out in their community organizers and leaders, and they're celebrating with an evening of music, food, and art. So a lot of these women make art pieces out of clay, out of different forms, and then they sell them. That's the fundraiser to keep these areas going on the west side on Colorado Street. They always partner usually with the Esperanza Center, Rinconcito de Esperanza. They do a lot to give back to the community. So this is an amazing free event. You can find more info on the Esperanza Center's website, but Mujer Artes is a really great place to add some new art additions to your home in the shape of clay.
Gridiron 2025. Okay. Tell us about that
Is
one.
anybody here in Gridiron? Because this is really funny, right? Gridiron, if you're not familiar with it, is our local San Antonio journalists, news personalities, and they put on a performance, the Gridiron Show. This year's theme is dangerously entertaining and irreverent, and they poke fun at current events and local government. So it's really fun. It's lighthearted. It's positive. Nonpartisan. Everybody likes to poke fun at this event because these journalists are working so hard every day, right, to report the heartbreaking news, the hard-hitting stories, and this just gives it a little bit of reprieve. And it's actually put on by the journalists themselves that raise funds for scholarships for new and future journalists.
Oh,
so the
love that.
Society of Professional Journalists puts this on, and they work together every year to help fund scholarships for journalism students. So it's always hilarious. You should go check that out and just get a break, you know, from just doom scrolling all the time.
And maybe laugh at yourself, right?
Yes.
Yeah, every once in a while. All right. Cinema Under the Stars. That sounds really nice, and that is Saturday.
Yes. So these events are Saturday, jam-packed Saturday. The San Antonio Black International Film Festival is back, and they're having a special outdoor screening of a film called The Wall Street Boy, directed by Charles Uwagbai. So this is going to be really beautiful, right in the east side, heart of, a block away from downtown San Antonio, Lockwood Dignity Park. I live by this park. I think it has one of the most beautiful views of downtown. It's on a hill. You see the whole lit up skyline, and you get to watch a movie there with that as your backdrop.
Oh,
doesn't happen that often, right? So
and it's not humid out.
And it's not humid, and they start the movie at dusk, so 3 to 11, but they're going to have music, food trucks, vendors. It's going to be a really great time.
Okay, as we're starting to wrap up here, but the Mexican standoff, that's something that's happening on Sunday.
Yeah, so you would think it's an event, but this is actually a name of an all-female Chicano band from East LA. So their music is awesome. They have all kinds of influences from different Latino genres. They're going to be playing Sunday night at the Lighthouse Lounge over by Woodlawn Lake. Their debut album was actually recorded right here in San Antonio with the late, great Flaco Jimenez and Max Baca from the Tex Maniacs. If you check out their videos of the Mexican standoff on their social media, they're just so fun, outgoing, high energy, and they're in Spanglish, right? So we love to keep it puro with them. It's going to be another great night of live music. But so much going on this weekend. I'm running off to an event at the Whitty Museum with the fundraiser for Rotary, where the Texases are playing, and I'm so excited that we're back into busy mode. We're going.
Yeah, and now it's also a lot more enjoyable when you're outside for a lot of these events as well.
Yes.
So anyway.
I'll see you out there.
Yes. Thank you so much for being here with us, Stephanie. Thank you so much for filling us in. We like to know what's going on because we're not as hip as you. All right, well, thank you so much. And thank you. And we'll be right back after the break. Welcome back, my friends. We just can't get enough of this weather that is significantly less humid than what we've been used to. 90 degrees out there right now. Our Adam Caskey is going to join us after the break with a full look at your forecast.
Yesterday evening after sunset, looking southward, it was quite a light show. You could just see the lightning flashing off in the distance. We have some great photos from our wonderful viewers that posted them to KSAT Connect. You can access that through the Weather Authority app. This is one example of the view from Elmendorf. We have St. Anthony's Church here, and looking south, you could see the big thunderheads. And even here in San Antonio and north of town, you could see that 50,000-foot tall thunderstorm that was over southern Atascosa County and McMullen County. And that's where the bulk of the rain was yesterday evening and last night, south and southeast of San Antonio. You look at the rainfall estimates, and upwards of 5 inches. Just north of Tilden here, and near Crowther, about 5 inches. Just south of Campbellton, 4.7. So along and west of 37, that's where we had the real bullseye of rainfall. And that's an area that could use it, that really needs it. Now going forward, I wish I had better news. Our rainfall potential is pretty slim, not just here, all across the state. Really, the highest potential is because of the tropical system we're watching, and that would be parts of the mid-Atlantic, the southeastern U.S., and then also Pacific Northwest from a separate system that would be moving in. Cool front moved through yesterday, not a hard-hitting one. We have two types of fronts here. The ones that move through and you don't really notice, and then the ones that slap you in the face right when they move in. We've experienced both. This is the kind that you don't notice very much, but it did cause some subtle changes. For one, dew points are down. We talked about that earlier in the newscast, and that means more pleasant evenings and mornings will be back to average. Rather than being more tropical in the mornings, they'll be closer to average in the mid to upper 60s. Big picture, upper level flow, a few disturbances out there. They're just not near us. And the way the pattern's going to be going forward, we don't have any big rain-making disturbances to look forward to within the foreseeable future. Watching Tropical Storm Umberto, which is likely to become a hurricane pretty soon here. And notice in the days ahead, by this weekend, it arcs northward early next week, likely passing between the Carolinas and Bermuda. and then pushing back out to sea. But we're also watching this cluster of storms that's likely to become our next tropical depression, then tropical storm. And this one has a higher likelihood of impacting somewhere along the East Coast, particularly from North Carolina southward down through Georgia. So we'll be updating you on that as we get more information and as it evolves. Unfortunately, we couldn't tap into any leftover moisture from that or rain-making energy. 92, our high temperature today, above average. Average is 88, but our mornings will be back near average tomorrow. 67 in San Antonio, 59 in Comfort, 63 Canyon Lake, Bandera, Bernie at 60. So in the hill country, morning temperatures right near 60 and even some upper 50s. Then we warm up quickly. 87 at noon, 93 the high temperature. A lot of sunshine throughout the day tomorrow, just a few patchy, passing fair weather cumulus clouds. Looking ahead, mornings mid to upper 60s, so a little more pleasant and closer to average. So something I've been doing lately is the Throwback Thermometer Thursday. And this brings me back to one of my favorite thermometers that I've made. Remember years ago, my buddies and I came across a rattler in my neighborhood, and it was hanging out near one of the bus stops for the kids in the morning. So, well, we had to take care of that rattler. Let's just put it that way. We had to take care of it and didn't let it go to waste. Tanned the skin and then turned it into a lovely thermometer. And I even have some skin left over to turn into a few more thermometers. But yes, we took care of that rattlesnake. And my buddies, Cody and Todd, of course, helped me out. We took care of that rattlesnake and tanned the skin and then turned it into a beautiful thermometer. And yes, I do have some more of the skin here. By the way, you go to ksat.com/thermometer to enter the drawing to win a thermometer.
How many more can you get?
I could probably make about 2 to 3 more out of the rest of this skin. Yeah. It was a big learning experience too about how to tan the skin properly, right? And all that. It's been interesting.
That's another video.
Yeah,
I'm serious.
I know, it would have been, yeah.
Thank you. We'll be right back after this. November is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, and we're profiling a local family who recently grew by one. Amari and Katie Martinez already have a 3-year-old son, and in late July, they welcomed their little daughter, Penelope. Ernie Zuniga met them and found out that just as they were getting settled in, Penelope's grandmother noticed that something wasn't quite right.
So she was about 3 weeks old, and you're just tired. We already have one, we have a newborn, and we're trying to remember all the stuff. And my mom noticed her left foot was like a drop foot, like it just wouldn't do anything.
A trip to the pediatrician, referrals to orthopedics and neurology, then physical therapy, a sonogram, and finally an MRI confirmed the diagnosis and the family's worst fears.
It's actually a mass in her abdomen, and that's what's pushing on her spine, and that's when our entire world just shifted at that point.
At barely 4 weeks old, Penelope was diagnosed with neuroblastoma, a rare cancer that affects mainly children and forms in the nerve tissue.
There's about a little under 700 new cases every year, and it's the most common extracranial solid tumor that we see in infancy.
So far, Penelope has undergone 2 rounds of chemotherapy and will continue treatment every 3 weeks. According to Dr. Rodriguez, the overall survival rate for intermediate risk neuroblastoma is over 90%. And for those that present with spinal compression, as in Penelope's case, there are some studies that show up to 73% of patients will go on to have complete resolution. An additional scan in October will determine how well she is responding to the chemo.
I think as a mother, they're just these little miracles. And she still is, and both of our kids and their strength give a lot of strength to us. I think as a mother and as a parent, you always want to be everything for your kids. And it's really hard.
Ernie Zuniga, KSAT 12 News.
Little Penelope, we're praying for you. We're hoping that you pull through. So Ernie said that in October they're going to have a scan, so hopefully we'll have a result then. Okay, so here's a look at what's coming up tonight on ABC Primetime. At 7 o'clock, right after the show, it'll be Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? And then at 8, it's a special, Barbara Walters, Tell Me Everything. And that's followed by the Night Beat at 10 o'clock. And we will be right back after this.
This is Zayd, and like this ping pong ball, he has bounced back from being an angry, fatherless child to being an inspiring, strong young man, all thanks to City Life. But I'll tell you how he's using his story to inspire other teens with troubled lives on GMSA.
Looking forward to that. That story's tomorrow on GMSA. Now, before we go, we want to give you a live look outside. Not the result of construction or an accident, but you just have traffic on I-10 at Frio, the lanes going towards downtown San Antonio. Thanks for watching. See you on the